Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Sir Wade in case you're new here, and today we're going to be checking out the Wacom One Creative Pen Display. This is Wacom's new $400 tablet. It just came out this January 2020. And in case you can't already tell, it is a display tablet, meaning that the screen is on the device and you can actually just kind of draw on it when it's connected to a computer. Or in some cases, a phone, but we'll get to that. And at $400, this seems like a pretty good deal for something at this price point. We're going to find out if it's worth the price. Now, as most of you know, I don't do a ton of digital art in terms of drawing or painting. I'm a 3D artist. I spend a lot of time animating or other 3D visual effects type things. So a lot of Maya, After Effects, Cinema 4D, stuff like that. So I'll do my best to review it from each of those standpoints to see if this is the right tablet for you. And I'll also be reviewing the 3 software applications that it comes with free, so we'll get to that as well. And before we jump in, if you're looking for more stuff about animation, tutorials, interviews, all kinds of cool stuff, subscribe down below and check out the rest of the channel. There's a ton that I think you're gonna love. And if you end up wanting to pick up this tablet, there's a link down below that'll take you to the page, so there you go. Now this video is not sponsored in any way by Wacom. They did send me the tablet for free to check out and review, which I'm very excited to do. Thank you for sending it. But these are my true, real opinions and I'm not sugarcoating anything. So let's dive in. So inside the box, you're gonna find a few things. The tablet and the pen come with the cable that you'll need to connect it to your device, as well as the power adapter to make sure that the tablet has power. Since it has a screen, it doesn't just run off USB, it needs a little bit more juice so that you can use it with your laptop or whatever you may be using. And there's also a little bit of documentation in case you want the quick start manual for some help. So this is what the tablet looks like. It is a 13.3 inch screen. On the back, you've got legs, which are nice and sturdy, so those are not gonna collapse anytime soon. They also snap very satisfyingly. They're rubberized, so on the bottom and the back, they have rubber so they won't slide around on your desk. You can set it down, rest your arm, rest your hand. I'll show you some clips in a second of me actually using this thing, but just so you can see it, this is what it looks like. Pen holder up at the top, all pretty self-explanatory and straightforward. This is the pen itself, and to compare it to other Wacom pens, you have the regular standard kind of Cintiq, the slim version, which this is a lot closer to the slim pen, which I like. I prefer the slim pen a lot. The slim pen has, I think, what is it, 8,192 levels of pressure sensitivity, where this, the Wacom One pen has 4,096. So if you are doing painting, that may come into play, but for most of us doing 3D work, animation, if you're not doing a ton of sculpting, this you're probably never gonna notice. But that's still not a bad amount of pressure sensitivity. There's an eraser on the regular slim pen, there's not an eraser on this one, and where there's 2 buttons on these, there's 1 button on here. So you could map that to be an eraser if you're doing painting, or if you're not painting, this could be right click or various other things. Up to you depending on your workflow. And if like me, you've wondered, can you use other pens on the Wacom One display? At this time, based on what I'm seeing on their website, it doesn't seem like these are compatible accessories, so you are gonna be using this pen with this tablet, at least for now. I'm not sure if that ever changes, but for now, assume that you're gonna be using this pen only. And before I forget, Wacom accessories that do work with the tablet, you can use the Wacom wireless keyboard if you have one. I don't own one, but it does work with this. And the express keys. This came with my Cintiq. I do use this, and it does work with this tablet. It does not magnetize to the front anywhere like it does on my Cintiq, but I don't think that would really make sense anyway because it's a smaller, more travel-sized tablet. You probably just hold this in your non-dominant hand when you're using this. Now I've tried a lot of tablets, and something that I can't say about most of them is for $400, this doesn't feel like $400. This feels nice. This doesn't feel cheap. I don't know how to convey that to you through the camera, but like, it's hefty, not in like a heavy kind of way, it's nice and light, but it doesn't feel flimsy. While it's small and inexpensive, it's well built, which I like. And a quick pro and a con about this. Something I do like is that underneath this little arm is the nib holder. There's extra nibs in here for your pen and this little hole where you can pop the nib out of your pen if you wear it down, which eventually you will. You'd rather the nib wear out than the surface of the tablet, so wearing out the nibs is not a big deal. So I like that that's just built into the tablet. You don't have to carry around any kind of a base, which makes this very travel friendly, which I like a lot. Now, something I don't love as much is that this USB-C port, which connects to regular USB-A, we'll get to that, it actually has kind of a cutout of how this port is gonna fit into it. The way my desk is set up, I would like the cable to run to my right. So I wanna plug it in like this, but I couldn't get it to seat properly until I looked and realized that it only fits going to the left and it snaps in. It's not the biggest deal, but like to me, that's annoying because my cable has to go this way. I'd rather be able to just plug it in both ways. I'm not sure why it's like that. I imagine it seats the cable better, and so therefore it's less likely to come out while you're working. Personally, it's just, I don't like when I can't plug it in either way. 1920 by 1080, so full HD, 72% NTSC color, which for most people is more than fine. For those of you who need exact color, you may be looking for a more premium device like a Cintiq or something, but for the majority of us, that's more than fine. Now enough talk, let's see how it works. All right, so let's dive in. I've got Photoshop open here, so you can see I've got a gray background and I can draw in white and I can just make a happy face. Again, I'm a 3D artist, so my drawings are gonna be a little bit basic. So that's my attempt at showing how Photoshop drawing works on this. Now, Photoshop's kind of tricky to show drawing on because Photoshop's kind of slow sometimes when you have custom brushes with a lot going on. But either way, you saw that it works really well, and I was using some custom brushes that were a little bit more laggy. But again, that's the brushes and Photoshop's fault. So let's try a different application to see how that works out. So this is Bamboo Paper. This is one of the apps that comes free with this tablet. So if you buy it, you get access to this. It's meant to be a kind of a note-taking app, I think, but you can do a lot of sketches and different things. Overall, it's pretty simple, and I like the simplicity of it. There's not a lot of UI elements. There's just kind of what thing do you want to draw with, what color do you want it to be, do you need an eraser? So I'll just quickly try to draw something with this so you can see the experience of drawing with this one. Now, one more piece of software this comes with is called Clip Studio. But the thing that I think is most interesting about this application is that you can bring in 3D models and backgrounds and stuff to use for drawing reference, perspective, all that kind of stuff. I am terrible, I'm garbage at perspective. I can draw cartoony doodles, but I do not draw realistic stuff very well at all. So the ability to load in different poses and adjust the poses in 3D space in this application, then use as a reference to draw on top of, I found really, really interesting. Something that I hadn't really considered doing before, but I found it really helpful. And I ended up making this drawing in like 40 minutes, which for me is an accomplishment. So you have camera controls of the space, you can move the actual model, and there are different levels of posing controls that you can use to adjust the character, the rig, whatever it is, to get the drawing that you're after. By the way, my last video was, do you need to know how to draw to be an animator? I highly recommend checking this video out. I'm very proud of it. I think you'll like it and get a lot out of it. But that's the idea. You can take this model, draw on top of it, and it helps kind of give you a starting point so that if you're not a great artist but you need to draw, you can accomplish this without knowing the anatomy yourself. And there you go. My janky hand. Next up, we'll look at some 3D stuff. So I'm in Maya here, and I'm looking at the sculpting tools. Now, most people probably aren't using Maya to do sculpting. They're using ZBrush or something like that, but I don't have ZBrush, so we're gonna go with Maya because I know that one. And as far as pressure sensitivity, I can push a little bit or I can push a lot. So that works for me. Now, I'm no sculptor, and you may be wondering, why do I keep showing you things that I'm not very good at? Well, that's art, right? I'll give him a bigger nose, just because that fun. We'll give him that nice bump. I really don't know exactly where I'm going with this, but let's just say I'm making a character. Anyways, I think you get the idea. This works very well. It's extremely responsive. You see there's absolutely no lag when it comes to this, so I press, it moves, and now he's gonna get some kind of a crazy line domain. Tablet works great. I can see what I'm doing. I don't have to guess at where the mouse is gonna land. Finally, we have 3D animation. This is how I generally use these types of tablets. I usually work with two sides of the screen. One with the camera that I'm going to be rendering from, and one with my perspective window that I can work in. That way I can move things around and preview them in real time. To me, the benefit is to be able to move into the character and just grab whatever I need and move it around intuitively. Rather than having to use a mouse and keyboard, I can really quickly art direct what it is I'm looking for in the rig. And I find it very, very convenient that when I need to do draw overs, I can just quickly draw exactly where I need to on the screen. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to try and map anything. It all just works. So to summarize, I like it. For 400 bucks, I think you're getting a lot out of this tablet. It's well built, it works great. Because Wacom's been around for so long, they know what they're doing with drivers, so compatibility is really not an issue. You can also use this to draw on some Android phones. I was not able to test it because it doesn't work with the Google Pixel, which is my phone, but most like Samsung phones, there's a list on their site. I think you can go see which ones they work with, but I think my only main gripe is the cable. That's something that drives me crazy with pretty much every tablet. I don't know of one that doesn't have this problem. I wish someone would fix it, but it's USB-C plugging into here, and then it goes off to power the display, because this requires some juice. It goes into regular USB on your other computer, as well as HDMI to get the signal. USB for the mouse input, HDMI for the visuals. I really wish we could just get USB-C to USB-C and it could deliver power, visual, and connection all through one regular USB cable. I know not everyone has USB-C on their current computer, but I'd love to have that as an option. If I could buy that as its own cable, I would spend 30 bucks just to get that cable. Because if you're on a standard laptop that has regular USB ports, you're probably good. You may or may not have to get a dongle to get HDMI out of it, depends on your computer. But if, like me, your mobile solution, your laptop, is one of the newer MacBook Pros that only has USB-C, you have to have both the USB dongle and the HDMI dongle to plug into this tablet. So it does work, it's just kind of a pain. And I wish somebody would fix that. And I don't know if there's another tablet out there that has solved that problem, but that's my primary gripe if I were to use this with my laptop. And I don't know if I touched on this, it's not a touchscreen display, but for something this size, I don't mind that. Usually Wacom tablets will recognize when your hand is resting and you're drawing, so it doesn't actually affect it. So my Cintiq, I do that all the time. I rest my entire arm on it, move it around as I'm drawing. It's not a problem. I don't mind this not having touch capabilities because that helps reduce the price to where it's at. If it had touch capabilities, it would cost more, and we don't want that, so this is fine with me. So if you want to check this out, I have a link down below to Wacom's website for the details and a link to Amazon where you can buy this if you end up wanting to. If you do end up buying it from that link, it's an Amazon affiliate link, so it gives me a small percentage of the sale, which helps me out quite a bit. And if you want to discuss this tablet further, if you have more questions, you want to talk about other display tablets, jump into my Discord, link down below. We have an amazing community of artists all in there, sharing information, sharing brushes for Photoshop and ZBrush, things like that. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to review more stuff, let me know what you want to see down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.